I don't like to talk about individuals as a principle, but in this particular topic, I have to because I think this topic is bigger than an individual. So here I am. I heard the criticism of Riyadh Comedy Festival and the people who went there. I don't know much about these comedians because I don't follow all of them. I only follow Dave Chappelle and Louis C.K. I have been following them for a long time because I think they are good writers. I always study their work, their writing, because I like the way they tell a story. It's very unique and it's very grounded, it's very personal. So, since their name popped up in this issue, I decided to understand and educate myself what this was about. I would say that the issue was kind of justified, but at the same time oversimplified, that they just went there for money. Mm, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know the rest of them, but these two comedians, because I've been following them, these two writers, the simplification that they just went there because of money, it seems unrealistic because they don't have to prove anything. So I can only speak this particular thing from my personal experience because I have a complicated history. I grew up during Civil War, and then before that, because of the colonization, I have a complicated history with my roots. I'm not going to get into details because I don't want to tell that in detail, but I'm just going to give the idea why it's personal to me. Because most of the criticism coming from fellow American citizens, and they expect their fellow citizens to act morally. I'm not surprised by that. But when we completely ignore the fact that the people there from the other countries also experience these, in this case, a comedy festival, they will have a different impact in their life. And that is something that I experienced growing up because when I watch, mostly I grew up with American media, Indian media, or I don't know, Japanese. All of these stories helped me to see the world in a different way. Yeah, the freedom of speech is not a common thing for many countries, and freedom of expression isn't a kind of simple thing for most of the world. And the fear of saying something they think is real, and people walk around with that fear. They don't say what they don't like, they just pretend. Based on my experience, when you are in a system where it's very controlling you, where there's authoritarian or even more controlling system, you do have a very different relationship with time than the rest of the world, or the world where you could speak your mind. When growing up watching American cartoons or films, the way they able to say these things, fight for their rights, these characters, it did challenge my how I relate to time and what I could do. And that's how I see this um, festival, because for American audience, it's another normal thing, comedy festival. Even if it's a European audience, doesn't matter. But in a culture, it's not common. For them, it's a new experience, and for them, it's a challenging experience. I think that's how progress happens. Progress happens with handshake, and it's a slow thing. It doesn't happen overnight. And in order to look at something different and then look at yourself and compare, that's how you start thinking. And you question why I cannot do that. And then like if whatever surround you tell you that you can't do that because you are this and that, and then you start questioning it. And over time you discuss, you change the laws, change the rules, because you want to be able to do that too. I understand all of these criticisms, but I think there is a huge value for the people who aren't Americans. So my point is not everything black and white, but it inspires people to do their own thing. And it's good. Again, it's not every protest and a revolution and yelling will solve the problem. Yes, it does have an impact, but it's not going to solve problems. Most of the problems solved by people sit down at the table and documenting stuff. And that is slow and I think, and stronger for a long run. This is something I later realized. When I was very young, I was angry why the change cannot happen overnight, but if that can happen overnight, it also can be broken overnight. So if you want strong change, you should be patient. And that can happen only by handshakes, smile, and integrating cultures. And if you are humming a song from a different culture and then you don't know why you like it, but you like it, that's progress. That's it. I was bothered by this for months, and I just wanted to say something about this because, again, I know it's a comedy festival since I follow these two writers. I was questioning myself, did I get something wrong about them? Maybe I did, but still doesn't change my point about how other cultures and their freedom and their expression could inspire somebody in a different system, somebody who, some group of people who experience time differently, and for them to be conscious and challenge their current state and able to come out and be more free, meaning exercise their freedom. Be more free is very subjective thing, but I'm saying able to exercise your freedom, because there is freedom doesn't mean that everybody, people still struggle to find love. So it's nothing to do with feeling free. It's just, are you able to take action and exercise your freedom? But a good system should let people to exercise that. That's the message. Yeah.